So here at the demo site at Oxford with Aoife and obviously with Greg to have a quick chat about what we're seeing here. As I said, T1 has just gone on down here at the demo, so we'll talk a little bit about what we've had so far through the season, but obviously looking mostly forward to the T2 timing. Certainly at Hinton, and I think probably nationally, we've had a pretty dry time of it since, Aoife, but looking around, we've got a number of pathogens here. So any thoughts and advice for probably the next timing in a few weeks' time?
Yeah, so I think if we kind of start talking about what we're actually seeing in the site, and I think when we spoke last week you were saying, oh, it's mainly yellow rust here, but actually coming here this morning, it's very obvious that you mentioned that there was a rain event on the 12th of March, and actually that's really visible now in a lot of the varieties. So we've got Aintree here, and you can see that there's a lot of yellow rust sitting in that tiller that we have. But also there seems to be one infection event that's occurred around that timing due to the 12th of March rain. And you can see that there's a lot of Septoria there, but they're all the same size lesions. So we do have Septoria there. There's a bit of yellow rust. There's also a lot of scarring there from where the T0 has had some activity. And so, yeah, we're really dealing with mixed infections now going into those T2 timings. And we have to consider, well, what are we going to do there? Where we do have some active yellow rust present. We've had a Septoria infection event, obviously in March, and how are we going to keep that Septoria at bay, given it's already present, and keep those flag leaves clean going into May, June, and beyond.
And this is 2 coming out now. Actually, because the T1 went on this, other plots in here only on Friday, this has probably got a degree of protection against rubbing. We had a very small rain event of 0.1 mil last night. You know, it's better than a heavy dew, so there's probably going to be some cross-infection in there as well. So, that's going to lead to perhaps disease moving up.
Yeah, I think so. So again, when we're thinking about our sprays and kind of things like T1.5, for example, so as Ben mentioned, the top of the tip of the leaf will be protected, but the rest of it won't. And so you'll get rubbing either by physical contact or by maybe perhaps another rain event. And so we're going to have to protect both the leaf too and then the flag leaf when it comes out. So the products are going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting, actually, more than we think. And so kind of people thinking about, reducing maybe down to kind of, Prothio, TEB kind of options for their T1.5 or their T2, it's not really going to do the job in this season. So we're going to have to think about higher strength kind of actives there and products that will give us that protection.
The crop potential is much better this year than probably it has been in the last maybe 2 or 3 years. So there's actually plenty there to look after. So actually, while you might be conscious of spend, there's a good yield potential to look after with that spend. So, and I think what we've been seeing and what we've been discussing is actually there's not necessarily one absolute clear disease threat. We've been mentioning Septoria as always. Plenty of inoculum in the base of crops that could wake up and get going should we get some conducive weather events. But that ever-present threat of rust there, particularly this year, which I think lends itself into the more sort of broader spectrum products. And from our range, certainly products such as Astra and Plaxium, I think could have a very strong fit there at T2.